Born to beauty, inspired by your wellness, unburdened by life, this is the path to finding the warrior within you. This podcast is for women of every shape, color, and style. It's about finding your inner beauty and finding the strength to battle the outside world around you. Take a break and sip some tea with me, Gwen Osborne, from teen mom to celebrity life and all the necessary trials in between. All right. Well, we are on, Dawnmarie. Welcome back to Tea with Gwen. Me, your host, Gwen Osborne. Today, we are welcoming the most inspiring, uplifting, healthy, fit, yes, and sexiest advocates for multiple sclerosis, Dawnmarie Deshaies. So thank you for coming, Dawnmarie, and I'm so happy to have you on here. It's been a long time coming. I don't know why. It took a long time for us to get it together. I'm so happy to have you.
I'm so honored to be here and so excited for you and your new Tea with Gwen podcast. And it's just you deserve all of the happiness of wealth and future moving forward with pure grace and warriorship.
Such a sweetie. You are loving life right now as a new executive producer. Does that make you wake up differently now?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. I kind of like, I don't really know what else I could add.
Right? Girl, I don't know what else you could add to your list either. Your resume is full. It is totally full. And this lady is beautiful. So I hope at some point I'll be able to put together all of these Zooms I've got and you get to see how beautiful she is. But in the meantime, you can find her at Dawnmariehealthyandfit on Instagram. And you can find out about all of the things. You click the link in the bio. And also remember, you can learn about today's topics and tips by looking at the description from whatever app you're using. You can subscribe to my podcast on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, or Audible. So let me tell you a little bit more about Dawnmarie so you know about this resume. Dawnmarie is an unstoppable force with how she brings awareness to multiple sclerosis through being a CEO, a speaker, a wellness coach, a podcaster, and an author of 2 amazing books called Living with Phantoms and the most recent called Finding the Sun Through the Clouds. The most recent incredible accomplishment is she has become an executive producer of the film In the Ring with Bobcat Moretti. So yeah, I don't know what else there is to fit in there, Dawnmarie. Can you tell us a little bit about the storyline behind this movie and how it personally connects to you?
The storyline behind the movie is about a man that has multiple sclerosis, that his life has just been turned upside down, and he doesn't know he has MS, and he had suffered some tragedies that I can't quite tell you about
We don't know
yet.
all the details.
And during this time frame, his body keeps suffering from tremors, where your entire body feels like you're living in an actual earthquake, but it's your own body. He goes to the doctor. Things go wrong. The doctor says, I think, you should be okay by now. It's been a year. We don't know where that year has gone, what's happened. And then he's told after the brain MRI and spinal tap that he has multiple sclerosis, which then he decides to keep it to himself because he's afraid of what people will think, which is a very true life of all of us warriors living with the disease. It's scary. It's unpredictable. It is just like a phantom in the night. You do not know when it's going to attack, how long it's going to be with you, and if you will recover from any attack. But the movie also has a really great story of him wanting to get back his life and become a boxer. Now he's 300
which is huge
pounds.
to become a boxer, right?
Right. Yeah. But he's 300 pounds and he's living with the disease and he hasn't told anybody. Wow. And he's in the ring and he's in pain, but he's still going. So this is like the fight of his life, and he's trying to fight for his life.
Something that all about. And we're going to get more into that because we're going to do the sponsor highlight right now, which goes to my lovely guest herself, Dawnmarie, her book, Finding the Sun Through the Clouds. It entails her life experiences from tragedy and heartbreak, uplifting highs and celebrations. And since her diagnosis in 2012 with the autoimmune disease known as multiple sclerosis, Dawnmarie has continued to make it her life's mission to spread awareness on this all too phantomesque disease. As I was researching where to purchase my copy, I noticed that there are only 8 books left. Of course, there's more to come, but you need to get on it. So go ahead on, get on Amazon, get yours for $34.95, or you can just go to Kindle and get it for $8.99. Yes, we're so excited to know about all your book and everything that you've got going on. So let's go into your world of your experiences with multiple sclerosis, Dawnmarie, so that we can find out exactly why you ended up working as an executive producer on this film.
Living with multiple sclerosis is living in a world that nobody can see. I look fine. I look normal like everybody else.
She looks more than fine, you guys. She looks fine.
I love you. And right now I'm speaking normally. And I can see right now, and all about taking care of your body and nourishing yourself properly. And it's really, really hard to determine how to live your life either on anti-inflammatory drugs, infusions, or the natural way of living through food and no inflammatory foods. Because inflammatory foods, sugar, wheat, anything that is anti-inflammatory, that's not good for you, will actually flare up the disease worse and attack the brain further. And what is happening is my own white blood cells, like yours protect you. My white blood cells go through what we call the blood-brain barrier, and they break through and they go into my brain and they start having a party, like little white bumps jumping around in there, and they start eating. So imagine your skin today, if you cut yourself, it's open and it's raw. So they're eating at the myelin sheath, which is the protective layer of our brain. And they eat and they eat and they eat until you end up with huge holes in your brain. And so now imagine a wire to your charger, your phone charger, and constantly plugging it in, and the wire starts to break and you can see all the wires.
Right.
So what happens is they eat away the entire protection of the brain.
And now the wires are exposed.
The wires, and then they break through that connection through the brain, thought, body, everything connection. So most of us have them on right and left. Some of us have them only on one side of our brain. Also, we have them in our spinal cord. And when they get to the spinal cord, that's most of the real deadly part of the disease, where you become completely paralyzed.
Which actually did happen to you in your life when you found out your diagnosis, which happened in your 40s, yeah?
Yes, right after my double mastectomy. I ended up getting a staph infection due to my own.
That was based off of a surgery you had just had?
Yes, I was making a bed and I pushed and my stitches tore. And I thought, okay, I'll be okay. And it wasn't okay. And I started having fever and redness all around my breasts, and went in and realized I had staph. So they put me on vancomycin. Excuse me. No, vancomycin is when I was in the hospital. Sorry about that, Gwen.
It's okay.
They put me on Levaquin 1,000 milligrams 5 times a day.
Which is an antibiotic, right?
Very strong antibiotic.
Yeah.
I was doing well. And then I decided to let my son drive the car. He was learning how to drive, my oldest. And by the time we got to the location, I was so stressed out and in so much pain. that when I stepped out of the car, I didn't pay attention and my right leg gave out on me and buckled,
Oh,
like this, like collapsed from me. And I fell into a fire hydrant drain
yikes.
and it sliced my left ankle.
Oh my goodness. So you're already going in for stitches that have become irritated and infectious. And now you've got a new cut as you're at the hospital.
So I'm back. I come home and I'm crying and I'm exhausted. I call my neighbor. She comes over. She's like, "You need stitches. I can see your bone." And I'm hysterical. I'm in pain. I've already been on an antibiotic for over 10 days.
Wow.
They bring me to the ER. They clean me out, stitch me up, and decide, we're not going to give you another antibiotic because you're already on it. So you should be okay.
Right.
Okay. So
But
then
you
that's
weren't.
when life turns wild.
Right.
I come home. I've got boobs propped up this way from
Right.
the reconstructive. I got my leg propped up. And then,
So you had new boobs. You had the mastectomy. You've got new boobs now put in. And now you've got your leg up healing.
yes.
Okay.
And all of a sudden it feels like my leg is on fire, burning, being ripped apart, just like my breast and just like the pains that I would feel constantly for the last 20 years of my life and never knowing why. Well, I'm screaming and we call the ER and they're like, take some Advil. Robert gives me more Advil and I'm taking the painkillers from the surgery as well. The next morning I wake up and the bandage is extremely swollen and I cannot feel both of my legs.
Oh no.
Robert brings me back into the hospital and it was everything they had to keep me tied down. They literally took my hands, put me down, grabbed my legs, and I was screaming beyond anything I've ever screamed before as they were trying to take the bandage off my foot. And when they got it off, they realized, oh my God, we got to like clean this out right now. It was green, it was pussy, it was extremely infected. When it came back, I had MRSA, which is a disease that can kill you. And there is no recovery once you get it into the like part of the bloodstream. So
But they were able to save your foot.
they saved my foot. They quarantined me in a room where even the nurses came in with the big, like those plastic
Hazmat
giant
suits. Yeah.
hazmat suits,
Yeah.
and I wasn't allowed to see anybody. And they rushed me back to the other hospital to do a CT scan on my leg to make sure the MRSA didn't get into my bone. Because if it had gotten into the bone, they would have had to cut my foot off.
But even through all of this, at this point, you still did not know that you had multiple sclerosis.
No.
So let's get to the part where, you know, then you become completely paralyzed, right? Your whole body now, after all of this, you think that you've, you know, sorted out the problem with your foot, but now you become completely paralyzed and they still don't know what's going on.
No, for 7 months, I was poked and prodded for cancer, for blood disease, for other autoimmunities, to see if I had lupus or Lyme's disease, anything that created with the body fibromyalgia. And it went from one doctor to the next and to the next and to the next. And 7 months later, you know, I finally was recommended to go to a female neurologist, Dr. Chowan.
Yes. All the women make na 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 na. Yep, because the women know.
And she was extremely kind to me. And the men, I'm not going to say their names. I'm just saying they did not have a nice bedside manner, and all they wanted to do was give me Prozac and send me on my way.
Right. When you
Because they didn't
knew
want to
something
see.
else was going on, you're like, no, there's something else. And this woman found it.
Yeah,
She
she
did
found.
through. Yeah.
As soon as I started to tell her, we brought all the blood work, we brought all the CT scans, we brought the cancer tests, we brought everything with us. And she looked at my brain MRI and she goes, I believe you have multiple sclerosis. I'm like, what? And she goes, I need to do my own test and my own spinal tap. So we had that scheduled the very next 2 days. And we got the results back and the spinal tap back. And
It confirmed
we went in. And I said to Robert on the way there, she's going to fix me. she is going to cure me. And all of a sudden, she basically just said, you have MS and it's positive, and you have lesions on the right, the left side of your brain, and
What went through
it's
your
going
mind
to
then?
progress.
What were you feeling once you were told, 20 years I've been dealing with symptoms and did not know, but now I've been told it is multiple sclerosis now? Probably you did not know as much as you know now at that point, right? So what
No
did,
idea. I had no
what did
idea
you
what
think
MS
and
was.
feel in that diagnosis?
At that moment, I was still having a really hard time with my legs and my arms and moving and comprehending and keeping memory. And I just remember like leaning forward and getting up and giving her a hug. And I just said, thank you. And I started crying. And she's like,
Yeah.
why are you thanking me? And I said, because I have been tormented my entire life. And
Yeah.
you finally validated me
Yeah. Well,
that
so it was
I'm
like
not
relief,
crazy.
relief in a way. Yeah.
It was relief. Robert started crying. He knew what the disease was. I did not.
Okay.
And from that moment on, it was okay. I know what it is. Now I can fight it. Now I can go after it. What do I
Because
do
you had
next?
been through some hard times with your husband, you said.
Yeah.
You had told him to leave you at one point, yeah, because you felt he should deserve somebody who's not sick, who's not going through this over time, and he didn't.
No, no. I mean, we suffered 5 miscarriages.
Wow.
And that is part of the disease that happens.
Yeah.
I was
Depression.
I had extreme depression. I
Mm.
thought of suicide constantly, Gwen. Just
Wow.
I was in so much pain and no one was giving me answers. And I
Mm.
didn't know how to live without pretending. But then when everyone was gone, I was exhausted and crashing and
Yeah.
burning.
Because
And
being a mother and a wife and a head of your household with taking care of the home, it's a lot to keep up. And, putting on that happy face because you feel you have to when you inside you're feeling like you don't want to be here. And
yeah,
I got
and
goosebumps.
I also felt like I was never heard because I lost pretty much all of my friends but 2.
Mm,
And I gotta say, they weren't real friends because you don't just assume and think you're crazy. Friends that say that they're always gonna be there should be there.
yeah, should be there. And I just want anybody who's listening to this to really hear that. Just really hear that whoever's going to be there should really be there, and they will really be there. Like the people who should be there, they'll be there.
Mhm.
You don't have to beg anybody to take care of you or be your friend. People who love you will love you.
That
And
is so
I'm
true.
so glad that you were able to get through that, Dawn Marie. But it's real, hearing that you said that you wanted to end your life when things get so bad that it feels like death sounds better than life. That's real, and you had support from your husband. You had 3 kids to live for,
I
and you
did.
and you had those 2 friends. Do you want to shout your 2 friends' names out?
Yeah, Jenna is my dearest, dearest, dearest friend of
Hey,
all time.
Jenna.
And my other girlfriend, Azine,
Yeah.
and they knew something was wrong with me. They could
Mm.
see it, they could hear it in my voice.
Mm-hmm.
And once we finally got the diagnosis, and I could literally uh, explain the disease, and then I started to learn it and understand it.
Right.
I needed to, it took me 2 years to
Okay.
figure out what the triggers were,
Right.
why things would happen when they were. And it was always usually stress, exhaustion, bad food, and pure stress amongst myself,
Mm.
not liking myself.
So that's where the physical and the mental and the spiritual as well, yeah, like it all comes together, and you realize that when you're not taking care of yourself in one area, it affects the other immediately.
Immediately. And, there are many people in the world that suffer with suicidal thoughts and they're afraid to talk about it. I am not. I come right out and just talk about it. I wrote about it in the books. It's all there, every step of my life. And I wrote it because I didn't want another female or someone living with any disease in the world to suffer so drastically like I did. And there, back in right after I finished writing my book, they put me on a new drug because the disease was progressing and I was allergic to it.
Oh.
And I got sepsis. I gained 52 pounds of water inflammation in my body. And it was one quick, stupid ass fight of that's what you're wearing to dinner. And I lost it, and I just knew something else was really wrong with me, and I didn't know what it was, and I packed a bag, and I'm a fight or flight because of things that happened in my childhood, and also living with a disease for 20 years that you don't know you're going insane.
Right.
So I've always been a fight or flight girl, and
Well,
I
which
wanted
one are you? Are you flight? Do you
flight.
lead? You're flight. You're an out.
I
I'm out.
was flight.
I'm out. I'm like that too. I'm out.
And I took all of the medication I knew I was allergic to, and
Oh man.
I left the house. I went to a hotel because I knew if I died, I didn't want my spirit and my children to find me at home here. But I knew things were getting worse, and I didn't know if it was the MS or it was another disease. And it was literally making me completely just, what do I do? Slit my wrist, take the pills? Where do I go? That medication was really, really screwing up my brain and my emotions and everything that I was going through. And I went to the hotel. I took all of the medication and I left a video saying goodbye.
Wow, you were really ready to go.
But I really couldn't do it any longer. And that I was sorry for everything that I put them all through. And that I was sorry that I wasn't strong enough through this one. And next thing I know, I remember pounding on the door. It was very faint. And I was so exhausted and tired, and I couldn't move. And Robert, my iPhone with the message went to the iPad that I left at home.
Oh.
And the iPad lit up. And when he saw my message, he tracked my phone, went to the hotel, showed them the video because they knew I was committing suicide. They broke down the door and they saved my life.
Your husband came to save you.
He came to save me, and then I had to go through a lot of therapy, a lot of drug testing to see what was going on, and then we found out I was allergic to the interferon drugs.
Wow.
And I had to work for the last 2 years after that to get it all out of my system and to really realize I am stronger than I thought I was. And at that moment, I thought I am going to go full force with the awareness for multiple sclerosis.
Right. Because what a discovery to know that not only are you going through, what you're feeling symptom wise with multiple sclerosis, but that the medication could cause a reaction in you in that severe way.
And to tell your entire audience, it's not just interferon drugs. There are so many medications in the world that you are on that come with major warning labels. If you are feeling sad and you are feeling you're not right that day, you need to call your doctor.
Yeah, and let them know that that's how you're feeling because it could be a side effect of one of the drugs, and that's real.
Exactly. And you don't want to get to the point of where I was. And every day ever since then, I knew I was here for a reason.
Right.
Finally, I knew. I don't know how to describe it, but I just knew I was touched by angels and God that day, that I was not going to die and it was not my time, that I was given this disease
Mm-hmm.
and everything within my life to be as honest and truthful as possible, to share my story, to make my voice heard. And I was going to do everything in my path to make sure that happened.
And you turned, I mean, I would say like a half of a lifetime of a lot of
Yeah, I'm
negative
55 now.
experiences, yeah,
Yeah,
into a positive, because now you live for the sharing, for others to know they're not alone going
yes,
through any of that stuff, and to know that they can survive and that they can have the will to live.
exactly.
You also love animals, especially horses, right?
I do. I love my horse therapy. May, she is amazing. She's so gentle and so kind, and she helps me with my MS. And it's called hippotherapy. And the way that the horse walks forces your brain to rebalance yourself, and you have to learn to balance and walk with the horse. So as
Oh,
you're walking, it's forcing the brain to focus on something other than my white blood cells eating the brain.
right. Wow. So, how does somebody find out to where they can do this? I mean, is this just, can you go to any place and say,
Yeah.
I'd like to go ride a horse, and just being on the horse and learning how to ride the horse is a part of therapy, basically?
Horses are huge therapy. They've been around for years doing therapy, but
Mm-hmm.
it's called hippotherapy or hippotherapy. And most ranches and most locations have a doctor on staff that work with the horses. Jillian at Surf and Turf is my therapist.
Mm-hmm.
And I get along with May very, very well. May is just the dream horse. Like you just want May. Like she's beautiful. She loves hats. She's stolen so many of my hats. Well, she hasn't. I've given her my hats. And
So we got to find May, the horse with the hats. We need more pictures of her on your Instagram. We need
I
to find her
know
with some hats on.
I gotta put some more on there.
Yeah.
And then I just learned, training with MS is different from training as a normal person, training in a gym. Like you have
Okay.
to really pay attention to your body.
Mm-hmm.
You have to listen to the warning signs. You need to take care of yourself, self-care, self-love. And for so many years, I didn't love myself because I didn't know what was wrong with me.
Right.
Why couldn't I be happy? I had everything in the world.
Right.
Why am I not happy? Why
Right.
am I in pain?
And but now you are super fit. You even jump on your leg press in your dress at home.
That's
So,
in my garage and nobody can see me. During COVID, Robert built an entire like full-size gym.
wow.
And I go out this morning, I woke up and walked out there with my pajamas and I
Yeah.
walked my treadmill for 39 minutes and three
Okay.
miles. And yeah,
And do you work out every day?
no, no,
No?
not every day. No.
Like how many times a week would you say?
Well, I try to at least do 3 times a week, but sometimes there's weeks that I can't do anything at
Okay.
all. It takes everything I have just to get up the stairs to
Mm-hmm.
come into my office to do what I do as
Mm.
I'm sitting.
Okay. You're like, there's my exercise for today. I did
Yeah,
my stairs
yeah.
and
In
I
my
feel
spirit,
good and I'm in my office. Yes, I made it. And
I
we,
made it.
we all should feel that way, especially with what we've been going through too,
Yeah.
with our accomplishments. Is there anything else that you do other than weights? Do you do any type of yoga or anything like that?
I have meditation and I have my crystals that I love, my healing crystals. And I've got my salt crystal that I turn on in my podcast room. And I pray, I meditate. I listen to music. I sing. I don't sing like you. I'm not a good singer, but I love to sing. And I laugh at myself a lot now.
Yeah. Yes, that makes such a difference, right? To not take yourself too seriously.
Exactly.
Well, what is the most passionate thing about your health and wellness journey that you feel everybody should hear or know to help their health and wellness journey?
You know, don't be so hard on yourself. We're human. There's nobody perfect in the world. No matter what photo you see or movie you're watching that is either touched up, fixed, or written to be that way. You are you. You were born for a time, a place, and a reason. You were born to have every aspect about your body to be the way that it is, unless you are forced to have surgery for whatever reason,
Yeah.
or you choose that that's what you need to have to make yourself happy. So
Mm-hmm.
I am all for everything to find yourself to be happy, but do it for you and no one else.
Right. Genuinely.
Genuinely do it for you and no one else.
Yeah.
And look in the mirror. And at the beginning, it was hard for me to look in the mirror and say, I love you, Dawnmarie, because I didn't love me.
Mm-hmm.
I would love everybody else 100%,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't love me. So I had to learn that. And now I can literally look in the mirror and say, I love you, Dawnmarie. And today we're going to accomplish this. And if we accomplish one thing, we did great. If we get to accomplish more, we are turning the world
Right.
one page at a time, one
Yeah.
person at a time.
Or with you one book at a time, or could we go into one movie at a time?
Whatever I take every day with, I'm alive today and what can I do?
Wow.
Because I don't know if tomorrow will be here. And I will never take life for granted again.
That's right. That is real. That's right. Every day has to be a present, which is why it is called the present. So we should really look at it that way.
Yeah, I really love how you said that. Every day is a present.
Yeah,
And we are living in the present day.
that's right.
And when we start to really look at that the right way,
Hmm.
and we know we're not crazy and we know there's something wrong with us,
Yeah.
speak your truth until you get your answers. Be the best CEO of your body. Because if this doesn't run properly, you can't work for anyone. You can't love your children. You can't love yourself. You have to really, self-love is so important in the last 5 years, where people used to think it was selfish.
Hmm.
It isn't.
No,
So
absolutely.
love ourselves.
I hope you all got those gems right there. She was just dropping some gems. With your new book and being an executive producer, how is life going to change for you now? Or is it going to?
Um, I want the movie to be a huge success, and I believe it is going to be. It is going to be the MS of Rocky Balboa, that he is
Wow.
not going to give up, that we will continue to fight no matter how many battles we face.
Right.
And this movie, I want it to go worldwide and hit everybody, because it's not just about MS. It's
Yeah.
about obesity. It is
Yeah.
about self-esteem.
Mm-hmm.
It is about loving you.
Mm-hmm.
And the world needs a movie like this. And I know the multiple sclerosis world and all 3.1 million of us living with the disease
Yeah.
that have been diagnosed. We need this movie to show the world what we are actually feeling and going through every single day of our life. Because there are divorces, there are deaths, there are people that never recover from the paralyzation. This is a drastic disease that does not have enough awareness.
And
And
you're bringing it, girl. You are
and
bringing
I
it.
I am bringing it along with the most amazing team ever. Tim Roberto, who wrote the screenplay. His mother has multiple sclerosis. He lived, he lives and breathes with her through the disease.
Mm.
Rob, our director, McGillis, he also has someone in his family that has MS. We've got Vivica Fox in the movie, and her assistant has multiple sclerosis.
Wow.
Everyone that is on this team either knows somebody or is related to somebody with multiple sclerosis. I am the only one that is part of the executive team or the producer or director's team, other than Tim.
Mhm.
He's the brilliance behind the movie. He
Mhm.
wrote the screenplay and he brought it to life in such a magical way that it's going to touch the world.
I can't wait. I cannot wait. And I'm so excited for you with this, new endeavor in your life of becoming this executive producer.
I do
And
have a little role in the movie, but
oh, and she's an actor too.
well, not yet. I haven't done the role yet.
Well, you're already studying some lines, I'm sure. So you've started the
I am.
process.
I am. I
Well,
was actually exciting to get my first screenplay
oh, okay.
paper. It's just like, yeah.
Wow. Well, I'm here for you if you need any help with that.
Yeah, I need help.
I'm here for you. I'm here for you. I've got a lightning round, Gwenny's lightning round for you. So there's some quick answers here. Don't think too long. So, are you late or early?
I'm a late
Dress or jeans?
dress.
Fly or sail?
Sale.
Protein drink or protein bar?
Drink.
Eyebrows or lipstick?
Both.
Oh man, that was a hard one. I knew it was going to be a hard one because they both are like the frame of the face, right?
Yes.
I want to come up with a challenge that comes from you. We didn't really talk too much about food, but I like it to be, simple for our listeners to be able to do something along with us for the week that comes from you. Um, what is the, do you drink a lot of water every day? Like, what is the number one thing that you feel like people should be, adding to their lives that comes from Dawn Marie?
Everything in everyone's life, whether you have MS or not, you should definitely be drinking lots of water every day. I do at least a gallon of water every day, whether it's in my protein drink or water itself. And
So you have a protein drink every day,
yes, twice a day.
twice a day. Okay.
Yes. Yep. In the
So
morning
we're
and
going to say 8 glasses of water every day. Eight
at
glasses of water.
eight, eight full glasses.
Yeah. Not teeny baby ones, you guys.
No.
8 full glasses of water.
And probiotics. And you will realize that your body loses inflammation and stress very fast.
Yes, I do probiotics at nighttime.
Yep.
Is there a particular brand that you love?
Right now, I am taking Previnex,
Okay.
which is also part of my team of allies on my website.
Okay.
And it's all vegan based and it's gluten free and no GMOs. And that's how I get all of my nourishment and vitamins and greens and everything to my drink and all
Can
of
you
my.
tell us the name of the website
It is Previnex, Previnx, and
and
it's
your website?
Dawnmarie.
Mhm.
So it's Dawnmariehealthyandfit.org. And when you go into that, it'll give you a background of my history of living with MS. And then once you get past there, it has what I call MS links and connections. And that is everything that has gotten me through living with MS, from
Okay.
peptides to food to books to fitness to everything.
Oh, brilliant. That's exactly what we need. We need to know how to maintain, sustain every day. I have
Exactly.
a quote for you, and I didn't sing, so maybe I should sing first.
You should sing.
Okay, you're here, I'm pleased. I really dig your company. Your style, your smile, your peace mentality. All right.
I love that song.
Here
I
is the
love it. I love it.
quote.
I love it.
Thank you very much. Here is the quote that I thought about you when I read it. You never know how strong you are until being strong is the only choice you have.
It's so true. And we both have been there in different lights of different roads,
Yes.
but you and I have both been there and we are warriors.
Yes, girl. I am so happy to have had you on Tea with Gwen.
I'm so
Um,
honored.
yeah. And I'm going to say goodbye to the listeners because this has been amazing. And I hope you all enjoyed learning all about Dawn Marie. And I hope that you watch this movie, get her book, go on Amazon or Kindle. The Kindle one is only $8.99. And enjoy this book. The movie is called In the Ring with Bobcat Moretti. And both of her books, the first one is Living with Phantoms. Most recent is Finding the Sun Through the Clouds. So thanks so much, everybody. Bye bye.